All right, folks, we're back with another setup in the shop, chilling, working on content for you. Is what we do. Nah, I really enjoy sharing this stuff, man. Today I got a simple one for you guys. This is not a cool technique. This is not trending. This is none of that. Okay. This doesn't need forward-facing sonar. This is not that. We taking it way back to the beginning of bass fishing, and one of the oldest techniques and tried and true techniques that without a shadow of a doubt is just a flat fish catcher. And I feel like it's rarely even used anymore. It's definitely not highlighted, but man, it's been getting it done forever, and it still gets it done right now. And that's a Carolina rig, the old ball and chain. Do people even fish this anymore? I don't know. I caught a couple on it at Joe Hollow. It wasn't a great deal, but I did catch me a couple on it. But I wanted to talk to you guys today in this setup about the Carolina rig. My line's twisted. I'm trying to hang on. Bear with me, folks. You know, when you got tangles, it's hard to do this stuff. All right, we untangled now. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we are. Okay, all right. You know, this is a technique I love that I've used over my career that's helped me several times. I've cut checks on this. I've caught giant bass on this, man. I feel like if you're a tournament bass angler, no, I'm gonna take that back. I feel like if you're a bass angler, not even a tournament bass angler, you need a Carolina rig. It doesn't matter if you're in a boat or from the bank. This works really good from the bank too, Carolina rig. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this technique. All right, so let's get into it. What all do you need for a Carolina rig? I'm actually gonna do this one a little bit in reverse. We're gonna talk about the line weights and all this stuff first, and then we'll get into the rod second, okay? So, generally speaking, a Carolina rig is a finesse presentation that's just super beefed up on steroids, okay? I feel like the Carolina rig is along the same lines of like a Texas rig or even like a drop shot or a shaky head. I know that sounds super weird. It's like, wait a minute. Those are super finessey. This is like way more bulkier stuff. I feel like it's just a bulky muscle way to present something very subtly. So I think that's where people confuse finesse versus like power fishing. It's the presentation. A Carolina rig is a very natural, subtle, easy presentation, much like a drop shot or shaky head, or even just like a light Texas rig worm. Okay, but you got it beefed up. I'm never throwing a Carolina rig with anything under 17-pound line, between 17 and 25, and I vary that on the fish. But my staple every day, just wake up, grab a Carolina rig, I'm throwing 20. This right here is 20-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon. As far as the weight goes, I generally start with about a half ounce, and I'll go anywhere from a half ounce up to probably like an ounce and a quarter, okay? And then that's just all depending on depth. I fish this thing as shallow as 0 feet of water. So like, a Carolina rig is like one of the sneakiest, best spawn techniques there is. When they're spawning, especially like a little bit deep later in the spring, like around now, like May, and they're out there in 8, 9, 10 feet of water, there's not many baits better than a Carolina rig. I mean, it catches them, man. Let's talk about what you need. So anywhere from a half ounce to a 1 1/4 ounce bullet weight. I like tungsten, you can feel everything. Then behind that bullet weight, you see that bead? I don't like to use glass because glass breaks and chips and can cut your line, especially with this tungsten. This tungsten's gonna break that glass. I use a plastic bead, okay? To each his own. Everybody does their own deal. Down from that, I got a barrel swivel, okay? I personally like Spro. I feel like Spro makes the best swivels. I'm just gonna throw that out there. In terms of durability, consistently, as far as spinning, smoothness, and just all around the best, I'm rocking with Spro. I think that's like a 80 or 100 pound barrel swivel, okay? Then you got your leader. Now, this is very important part of the Carolina rig setup is your leader. How long of a leader do you want? That's like a question that will pop up in comments and social media, messaging all the time. Hey, Mark, on the Carolina rig, how long of a leader? I don't know. How long is that? That's probably 2.5 feet long, right? So what's that, 18 inches? 18 to 24 inches is what I'm gonna tell you. Yeah. I like about that length right there. And I just eyeball it, man. Nobody's pulling out a ruler. I know some guys that like a super long one. And then I've seen guys with the little baby ones like this. I feel like it's just personal preference and what you like. But I like about 3 feet. Yeah, maybe even, yeah, about 3 feet. I feel like that's about 3 feet. Really close to it. That's just my personal preference. Again, this is 20-pound fluorocarbon. And then I'm using anywhere from a 2.0. This is a 2.0 offset round bend hook that I got right here. And I'm going anywhere from a 2.0 up to a 5.0 depending on the bait. Now this is another great thing about a Carolina rig. Endless opportunities on baits, man. You could Carolina rig, like this is a baby destroyer. Literally one of my favorite baits to throw on the Carolina rig. I love the Carolina rig, just a straight tail worm like this bad boy right here. That's just a Zoom trick worm. I love a fluke on a Carolina rig, a brush hog on a Carolina rig, a Cinco on a Carolina rig, crawl style baits. When I get up north and we chasing smallmouth, dude, something like this baby destroyer, or a speed crawl, or a any of those small crawfish type baits, excellent. It's just endless opportunities, man. Whatever you want to use on a Carolina rig, you can just about. If it's soft plastic, you damn near can put it on here, like straight up. And so, yeah, just to give you guys a couple options on baits. But then there's the rod, and this is probably the most important part of this. Again, it's a finesse presentation, but when you throw in a Carolina rig, you're playing 0 games. And that's why we got it on 20, and I'm throwing it on a 7'3". You guys hear me talk about this rod all the time, but this is why. It's the versatility of the rod. It was in my top picks, and again, this is why. This is a 7'3" heavy action Pro Series, okay? And I do so many things with this rod, but this is also my Carolina rig rod. Again, I told you guys, 20-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon, Johnny Moore's signature platinum reel, 6:8 is the gear ratio, and this is like a straight. When you get a bite, this is not a fight him around the boat 5 times. This is a get in this boat technique. So that's why we got the heavy rod, we got the big line, we got a strong reel, lower gear ratio, so I could just winch them back to the boat. They get 0 drag. That drag's locked down. It's either break my 20 or get in this boat. What you want to do? Those are your options, right? And it's just a great way to get bit, man, especially when you've located some fish. So you may have located them with a crankbait, spinnerbait, chatterbait, whatever, and they're sitting down there and you can't get them to fire on that anymore. A Carolina rig will literally pick off each one of them suckers one by one, and you'll clean that spot out with this bad boy right here. Can't tell you how many giants I done caught on a Carolina rig. Ask some of these older young folks out there, ask your uncles, ask your grandpa, ask your dads about old C-rig. They'll let you know. C-rig gets it done, man. But it's just one that I had to share on the setup because you gotta have it, man. Every bass fisherman out there, my bank guys, parallel this bad boy down the bank and hold on, trust me. Great technique, great setup. I wanted to share. There we have it. We're done. That's it. That's it for the setup for you guys today. Thank y'all so much for everything. Let's keep getting them subs up. You guys been doing great. I really appreciate it. The channel's growing. It means a lot to your boy, man. Puts a smile on my face, even when we have these tough tournaments, man. But that's all part of it. We're gonna keep the train rolling though. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. It's all love. I'll see you on the water. I'm getting ready to go do some fishing myself right now. We'll see you on the next setup.